everyone, Kimberly McAlinden here, and I'm working on my sweater challenge. And I thought that I would show you, since this sweater, which is the Rocket TDK, has this beautiful I-cord edging. It has it on the bottom of the sweater, it has it on the sleeves, and it has it around the neck. I thought that since this would be a great way to show you how I close up when you're working in the round, this I-cord bind off, I just thought that I would show you how I make it look like seamless. So I have finished the last row of the I-cord bind off, or round, however you want to call it, and I have left myself about a 6-inch tail. I'm going to thread my chibi. I'm going to use a chibi here. And before I get started, I want to look, this is the bottom. I'm going to refer to this as the bottom needle, and I'm going to refer to this as the top. So I'm going to look at the top. This is a 4-stitch I-cord bind off, and I want to find my first 4 stitches so that I can join them together. And when I look, this might look like the first, stitch that I can recognize, but actually the first stitch is under here. So here's the first V of stitch number 1. Stitch number 2 is right here. See the V? So 1, 2, here is 3. And number 4 is actually on the inside of the garment, on the inside. It's right here, this funky little number 4 right here. So I just kind of look at that before I get started to know, because I'm going to be working in these first 4 stitches. Okay? So since we're just going to continue like we were knitting, right? So your yarn is coming off the left-hand side of the needle, and then I'm going to take this first stitch right here, and I'm going to go, using my chibi needle, I'm going to go into it like I'm going to purl. I think this might be on the needle incorrectly. Nope. So I go into it. It was on the needle incorrectly. Sorry about that. I go into it as if to purl. Okay, now I'm going to take the top stitches. I'm going to go on the inside over here, and here's that first stitch. So I'm going to go through both the left and the right hand side of that stitch and pull through. Now on the front needle, I'm going to find that first stitch that I took off. It's very easy to see. I'm going to insert my chibi needle into the left-hand side and then into the next stitch on the needle and take it off. I'm going to go back up to the top stitches, and I'm going to find the second one. So here was the first stitch, and here is that second stitch right here. So I'm going to go through both of those and pull. So you see when I pull, that kind of raises this last one that I worked in. So I'm going to go down into that to the left-hand side, and I'm going to take the next stitch off my needle and pull. Back up to the top, find the next stitch, and go through the next stitch. See how it raises this? When you pull it, it raises this stitch up. I'm going to go and grab the left-hand leg. Oh, this is real life here. And then I'm going to go into the last stitch, pull that through, go back up to the top, and I have to go through that last stitch here. So I'm going to grab both sides of that last stitch. It's a tight one. pull that through. Now I'm not finished yet. You might think you're finished, but I'm not. I still have to come back down the left side of that stitch. Now, look at your handiwork. Isn't that amazing? Now, if you were just starting out and you left, you didn't pull it as tight as I did or do whatever, just go back and fix it. Isn't it great? Okay, so now I'm going to, this kind of has, a little bit of a bigger space here than I'm going to want. So what I'll do there is just kind of follow this big opening with my thread. And I'm just kind of following where the yarn would go. Look, I just closed that up. Now I can bring this to the back of the work. This looks kind of big too. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go through this as well. Cause see, look, you can even tell it's already closed up. You can't even see it anymore. But I want this to be closed up too, so I'm just going to follow the path of that. See, I just closed that up so that it's to my liking now. So now I can, I pulled it up through here. I probably shouldn't have, but you know what? It's my knitting. I can do whatever I want. So now I just pull it to the back, and now I will simply weave this in. I'm gonna weave this in here. You can weave in however you want. You can skim across the top. You could follow the path of the knitting and do like a duplicate stitch. You could come over here and, because nobody's gonna see this part, and simply, this is like my favorite way. You just kind of, go up for a little bit like this, right? And then you can clip that end right there. And now you have, wow, can you even tell? Isn't it amazing? It's so much fun. Hope you enjoyed it.